In this video, I'm going to show you how to create an automation that will label your emails based on the content from those emails. This can be a very valuable automation if you get a lot of transactional messages from e-commerce stores or automation systems or those kind of services. Stay tuned to learn how to build this automation to declutter your inbox. This automation will help you declutter your inbox, but keep an eye on those important emails that you may need to take a look at. My name is Andy O'Neill, and I help entrepreneurs add automation to their business. So we're over here in my inbox, and I want to show you the kind of things we're looking to automate here. So I get a lot of emails from make.com. It's an automation platform that we're actually going to use later in this video. And there are times when things will hit an error, or I'll get a warning, or maybe the automation is completely deactivated and I need to know when that happens. For example, over here on the left side, I have 3 labels that are applied to emails when that happens. I have an error email, a warning email, and a deactivation email. But beyond knowing what the error is, I also want to know who the error is for. And this is where our automation gets more dynamic. I've used basic filter rules inside of my inbox for these 3 error, warning, or deactivation emails. But when it comes to the dynamic labeling of who that message is for, what client it's for, or what make account it's for, that becomes a little bit more difficult, and I can't just set up all of those rules and keep them up to date all of the time. Now I'm over here in my make.com account, and this is the automation tool we're going to use to label our emails. If you don't have a Make account, click the link that's on the screen right now, and you'll get a first full month free of the core plan from Make. Next, let's look at this scenario and see what it does. Again, I am only targeting emails that are from Make that are errors. So I have 3 examples here. Again, you can use this with Make, or you could use this with an e-commerce store or some other system where you get emails where you need to kind of keep track of. They're transactional emails, so you don't need to read every one, but you need to keep track of those. So my first step here is a watch email module. If you're new to Make, you're going to need to click Add and connect your Gmail account to this module. Now, just a side note here, this works better with a paid Gmail account versus a Google Mail or Gmail account. So what I've done is I'm using a Gmail filter. So if I was over in Gmail and I typed from : no reply at us1.make.com, I would get a list of emails. This is a filter inside of Gmail, and I'm using that here. Mark messages read as finished. I'm going to say no, and I'm going to get 10 emails at a time. This is going to run every 15 minutes. And what it's going to do is it's going to look for 10 new emails every 15 minutes. You can change that interval. You can check every 30 minutes or 60 minutes. You could also increase the number of emails it's looking for, just in case you get more volume than I do. Next, we're using a text parser. And what this does is it's looking for that organization text from those emails. So if we go back to one of my emails here, I have a bullet point in each of these emails. It says organization : and then it has the name of the organization this error is for. And this occurs in all of these different types of emails, right here and right here. So that's a constant in each of these emails. So I'm using regular expression to find that value and extract it out of the text of the email. And if you want to set this up for your Make account, you can use this regex right here, or regular expression right here, and this will look for that organizational value and pass it along in our scenario. If you are using a different kind of system, it's really easy to use ChatGPT to figure out the regular expression you need. And I actually have a video that'll show you how to do this right here, where you can use ChatGPT to find that regular expression for your particular use case. And then I'm simply mapping the text here from my email. This is the text version, not the HTML version. Next, I have a filter here. I want to make sure that that value from the previous step exists. You can see here is a value that was extracted from a previous run of this scenario. So we're just going to make sure that value exists before we continue. Next, I have a data store step. And what this does is it retrieves data from my data store. If you're new to Make, A data store is kind of like a Google Sheets that's built into the Make ecosystem. I can store data there and retrieve it on demand. So right now what I'm doing is I'm searching for that label from the email. I'm over here in my data store list, and I'm going to go right here to my Gmail labels, and I'm going to click Browse. And you can see here are the labels that are from my Gmail account that I'm using for this purpose. So we have a label name, and we also have a Gmail label ID. This ID is going to be important for mapping what label gets added to our email. Right here, I have another scenario that I use just one time. We're going to go back to the previous scenario, but I want to show you how I got those values into the data store the first time I wanted to use it. So I'm doing an OAuth request here. If you're not familiar with how to set this up with Gmail, you'll need to check the link in the description. I have an OAuth connection documentation from Make that will show you how to set this up. OAuth is how we're going to connect and talk to the Gmail API. We're also going to use this in our main scenario that we'll look at in just a bit. So right here, I have this URL, and you can copy this and put it in. The only thing you want to change is your email address would go here. And again, that's after you've connected your OAuth connection. What this is going to do is it's going to retrieve all of the labels from this account. We only have to do this once because back in our main scenario, we'll do this in real time as new labels are created. So we're going to run this, and what's going to happen is it's going to bring an array of data back with all of the labels. So I have like 63 labels in my Gmail account. And then we're going to use the iterator. What that's going to do is that's going to break that one bundle of 63 into 63 bundles. Okay. And I'm simply just mapping that array, the data labels right there. So I'm mapping that array, splitting it into 63 bundles. I'm putting a filter here because I only want labels that have the type of user. That means I created these. I'm not going to need the typical labels like primary or social or inbox. Those are not things I'm going to use to tag these emails coming in. So just to keep the amount of data in my data store down, I'm just going to filter these and only put the user emails in here. And you can see what that looks like here. Like here's an example. Here's a chat label, and this is a system label, not a user label. All right, next, I've got my data store created, and I'm actually using my ID as the key, the unique key for my data store. The reason is these are all going to be unique across these labels. So I put that in there. I'm also putting the Gmail name here, the Gmail label name, and the Gmail label ID. This value and this value are the same. I'm going to override an existing record. Yes, in case you run this again, you would update the record. When you hit OK. And I'm going to go ahead and run this once just to show you. Basically, what's going to happen is it's going to update the labels in my data store. All right, so it's updated the labels. You notice the number is 49 this time because I ran it previously with all of the labels. And now I have 49 that match the filter of user. Okay, so let's just look at this filter real quick. You see you got some red X's here. These did not match. You see these are system. So this system is not equal to user. Right down here, you can see they start to match. User is equal to user, and that allowed it through the filter. All right, I'm not going to turn this scenario on. We're just going to leave it as is. I'm going to save it, and we can back out of this. Again, if you ever need to sync your labels again for any reason, or you do this for another account, this is handy to have because this is really only something you're going to run once and on demand for your particular use case. And just a note, if you're trying to build this in Make or a different scenario Make and you need assistance, you can head over to my website and book a one-on-one personalized call with a Make expert. All right, so now we have our data store module here. And again, we're going to search for our Gmail label name. Here's our search from that data store we looked at. We're going to look for the name, and we're going to get the value from this step here. Again, this pulled out a client name, and we're going to use the trim function on that because sometimes it grabs an extra space, and that's actually a different word technically than this word without a space. So we're going to use the trim function, and right there goes our client name. So we're searching the data store to see if this label already exists. Next, we're going to put in a router and two routes. The first route is if it finds this label and it already exists, we're going to update our Gmail. if it doesn't exist, we need to create that label in Gmail and then update our email and then update the data store. So the next step here, I have a filter, and I'm going to say if the record Gmail label ID exists. So right here, you can see here's that. It does exist. So when it exists, it's going to go here. When that's true, it's going to go through. So right up here, I'm using a modify email labels module for Gmail. And what I've done is I've clicked here and I've added the message ID for my Gmail, which is right down here. Don't add this message ID. That's the incorrect one. I know this from personal experience. Right down here is the Gmail message ID. So you're going to map this right here into that field. So that way it matches up and it finds the email we want to update. And then we're going to add the label here. Again, we found the label in our data store. So we're going to put the label ID. So that's going to update that email message with that label. And then if it goes through this part of the route, we're going to be done. Next, we have to deal with the fact that maybe the label doesn't exist. Maybe this is a new client and I'm getting new messages from them. We want to create this label on the fly. So right here, we're going to say in our filter, the label does not exist. We're going to say the Gmail label ID does not exist. So when it searches the data store, it can't find the value. Now, one thing we need to turn on in our data store is we need to go down here to advanced settings. And we want to say continue the execution of the route even if the module returns no results. Yes. That is an important thing to turn on, because if it doesn't find a result, it's just going to stop here and it's not going to create your label. So make sure that is turned on. All right, next we are going to do a HTTP call using our OAuth connection. Again, if you need to make an OAuth connection, that would be a totally different video in and of itself. Check the description for a link for the documentation of how to do that. So here is the URL we're going to use. Again, you're going to make sure that your email address is in this space, not mine. And we're going to use the post right here. That's the method we're going to use. And down here, this time we have some request content. So we're going to change the body type to raw, the content type to JSON, and then you're going to type this right here. This is JSON code, and don't worry about that. All you need to do is copy exactly what I have here. These are curly brackets on the beginning and end. You're just going to put name, colon, and then I'm putting make slash. That is part of the structure of the labels. So that's going to create this label underneath my main make label. If you don't want that hierarchy structure, you would leave the make slash out and you would just put your label right there. And then parse response will say yes in case we have any issues. We can see what happened. I'm going to hit OK. And then right here, I'm putting a filter in just because I've run this a lot of times and I want to make sure that we get a 200 status code from this API call to Gmail. A 200 status code means everything's A-OK. The label was created and we're good to go. If it's anything other than 200, that means the label wasn't created, there was an issue, and I just want to stop the scenario right here and not let it continue. Right here is our modify email labels. It's the same type of module as this right here. And then we're going to put in that message ID, just like we did from our very first trigger module. And then we're going to map the ID from our module that created our label. Now it's kind of grayed out here because the last time this ran, it was an error, so it's not showing this particular value. And let me show you how to do that while we're here. I'm going to click on this, right click, and run this module only. And I'm just going to give it a value that I can easily delete over in my account. So I'm going to say, please delete me. So we're going to create a label called please delete me. I'm going to hit OK. All right, so now you can see we got the status code 200, and when we go down here to data, that is label 79. So when I go over here in my email and I click here to labels to add, you see it's active now. So I would just map this right here. I would open up data and click ID, just like that. I don't want it twice, but that's where that would come from. So you might have to run one and create a delete me label to get this to run so you can get it mapped successfully. And then the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add this to our data store. So the next time this runs, it will find it and we won't have to do this API call every time. So right here, I'm going to put my label in. There's my label. And this is coming from our new label we created. Then I'm going to put my label name. Again, I'm using the make / just because of the structure of how I've created it. You may or may not need that. And then I'm going to put the label right here. And again, trim that value from the regular expression step, because if it has a space, it'll mess things up. If you want to learn more about how to manage labels in Gmail with make.com, check out this playlist for more videos. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.